Hi, everybody. Welcome to Rachel's Reviews, and we're really excited. We are talking about South by Southwest Film Festival, and I'm going to be attending next week when this airs. It'll be next week, and this will be my fourth year attending the festival, and it's going to be interesting. I'm a little nervous because last time I got super bad allergies, so I'm giving it another shot, but we'll see how it goes. But yeah, last time I felt like Texas was trying to kill me.
I
But
always feel that way personally.
yeah. So I am film critic Rachel Wagner, and Will from Film Snob Reviews is here. And Will, thank you for doing this.
I love doing this with you because it's fun because we just get to talk crap all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So fun.
And what would you say that in your as an observer, what do you think is unique about South by Southwest?
So okay, I'll say this. I usually go to Fantastic Fest, which is in September in Austin, and that's more of a genre film festival. I feel
Yeah.
like South by Southwest has a very diverse uh styling of films for people. No matter what you're really into, there's something there for you to
Yeah.
watch at all times.
Yeah. And just the amount of just the scope of the whole thing is just unbelievable because it's not only the film festival, they got a music festival, they've got the speakers, they've got and just then the number of venues and number of films that they have is really unbelievable.
You're all over the
So
place all the time in Austin at South by
yeah,
Southwest. And you never know
this
what's going to happen. You could go to a random dive bar and Death Cab
yeah,
for Cutie playing.
it's true. Yeah, and this year I'm actually going to be driving there because the plane flights were so expensive. So I'm going to be stopping over in Las Vegas, New Mexico.
I have family there. I know exactly
Oh,
where
you
that is.
do? Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
I'll be there. And so it should be pretty fun, something different. And I figured if I end up getting sick again, I if I have my own car, I can just leave.
Yes,
So
you
hopefully
can just leave.
it was the cedar about it was brutal last year. But I'd been 2 other years and I had no problem. So I don't know what it
Mm.
was a lot about last year, but anyway, I've given it one more try for South by Southwest.
I guess we'll see, right? I mean, like
Yeah.
it's odd that you had such a weird reaction last year, and
Oh,
then and it hasn't ever happened before because like you would
yeah.
think that would be a consistent thing, but the thing
Yeah.
about Texas is its geography changes all the time, so it's like
Yeah.
okay, what's about to happen here?
Yeah. So, well, let's dive in. I have 24 films that we're going to preview that I may or may not end up getting to see. Like I said, I'm only going to be there because I have to drive. I'm only going to be there for I'll arrive on Sunday night and then stay until Saturday morning. So I won't be able to see everything, but yeah, let's dive in. Let's talk about these and give them a 1 to 4. 1 not excited at all. 4 very excited about
That's
it.
pretty easy. I was just looking over some of these yesterday and then like right now,
Yeah,
and I've
yeah.
just been receiving emails all week about a lot of the
Oh,
stuff
I
playing
know.
there. Huh.
Yeah, it's been intense. I feel like even more than last year. The PR people are going crazy.
They're inviting me to stuff I'm not going to go to. Like, hey, do you want to go try this mini golf thing? I'm like, I'd
Yeah,
love to, but I'm not going. So,
yeah. Do you have a favorite festival?
Fantastic Fest.
Okay.
It's the one I attend in person because I just have the most fun.
Uh-huh.
Uh, that one because I know
Yeah,
I know I'm going to get whatever I want. I usually get into everything,
yeah.
and they're usually super open with like, hey, like last year I went to Fantastic Fest and I interviewed an Oscar winner, my third Oscar winner ever. But my first one in
That's
person,
cool. Yeah,
and it wasn't a good movie. It's
yeah.
funny because like I don't know if you've heard this story, but I was at the screening for the new Nacho Vigalondo movie, Fantastic Fest, and there was no seats available, and I got this lady gave up one of her seats, so they gave me the ticket. That lady ended up being the director I was supposed to interview the next day.
Oh, really? Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Well, I have gotten to cover the red carpet at South by Southwest, which is fun. The first year that I went, I got to cover Small Light. It was the Disney
ooh, yeah,
Plus, and it was so
yeah,
funny because so there were all these other people, but in particular the college station, And they were all like, kind of grumbling about it. And I was like, this is so, because I was stoked, that I got a Disney Plus show and, and, and they were like, oh, but it's Nat Geo. I'm like, what?
It's a weird place for Small Light to be, but I guess I
I
understand.
mean, I guess Nat Geo isn't cool anymore though. It's Nat
Nah, it's
Geo.
always cool. Nah, it's always cool. Belle
It's just
Powley's awesome. So
I
like
just thought that
anytime
was
she does
so
it,
funny that they were all like, but it's Nat Geo. And
I don't
then
care.
last year I interviewed Diane Warren. I covered her documentary.
Which is crazy, by the
Yeah.
way. I saw that.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like,
Yeah, and I was so surprised because I thought that she would just be kind of like over it. Like that's how I would be. I would just be like, who cares? Like but no, she like cares a lot and she gets like super emotionally invested every time and then she loses every time.
yeah, I think that's
So
weird. Uh,
I
I
mean, I
think
was
that's
just
weird.
surprised because I thought she would just be like, who cares? So it was
Yeah, I think
interesting
she's
to
sort of
talk to
buying
her.
into it at this point because, like, I
Yeah,
feel like she's making movies just to see if she can get a nomination nowadays.
that's how I felt. Yeah, yeah.
Are you a fan of Rachel's Reviews? Do you look forward to Family Movie Night, Female Film Critics panels, or the Talking Disney podcast? If so, please consider supporting the podcast by becoming a Patreon. As a patron, you get to access monthly events such as the watch-alongs and Q&As, where you get to talk to stars and find out the behind the scenes of the movie making industry. And you can pick what I review for Family Movie Night or even become a guest on the podcast. Podcasts and YouTube channels are expensive, and I really, really could use your help. I would so appreciate it. You also get to be a member of the Facebook group where we talk about all the films that we're seeing, and we have so much fun. Go to patreon.com/hallmarkies and select one of the Rachel's fan tiers. That's patreon.com/hallmarkies.
It
It's
is.
well, we have 24 movies to talk about for South by Southwest 2025. Let us
Let's
know
dive
if
in.
you're listening what you think about these, how they sound, and which ones maybe that we don't talk about that you're excited for. All right, the first one, it's called Reeling, and this is directed by Yana Aliata. A man mutters to himself, checks his to-do list, introduces himself to old friends, and grasps for a memory that always slips away. A pig slowly roasts in an emu pit. A birthday luau devolves into chaos and heartbreak when Ryan, a permanent scar on his head, finally remembers a glimpse of the accident that destroyed his memory to begin with. What do you think about this? Does that sound interesting?
So it sounds interesting. They actually just emailed me to ask if I wanted a ticket for one of the
Uh-huh.
screenings,
Yeah.
which I'm not going. So, if anybody wants a ticket, let me know.
Yeah.
This looks awesome. It,
This looks
it,
like
it
it's
seems like a mystery.
the director's debut. They've never made anything
Ooh,
before, so that's kind of cool. According to Letterboxd, at least. And it doesn't star anybody that I recognize, but yeah, it sounds kind of like a mystery.
these are the type of things I like to see at South by Southwest. The ones where it's
Yeah.
like first time director. I don't know anybody in the cast because then you're seeing something unfettered by the Hollywood
Yeah.
system. Untouched by
Agreed.
by light. And
Yeah.
I think those always end up working out really nicely. And
Yeah.
I don't know, it's pretty cool to watch stuff like that because then you can watch like at the evolution of somebody as
Hmm.
their work becomes more prevalent if they end up doing more stuff. So
Yeah, and I feel like they could do some interesting thing with like memory and kind of like uh shoot, what's the one Memento? I don't like a Memento, have
or
some of
or
those.
or it could be like White Lotus type thing where
Oh yeah.
everything is like contained and it's in on this
Hmm.
resort. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So what are you gonna
Yeah.
give it? 1 to 4?
I'd say a 3 out of 5, just because
Mm,
I don't know what it is.
Same. Same. I agree. I agree. All right. So then we have My Uncle Jen's. And this, man, they have really long summaries on these. This is directed by Brua Vahapur, and it's Akam, a young literature teacher, lives a comfortable life in Oslo until his estranged uncle from the Iranian part of Kurdistan comes for a surprise visit. Despite limited space in his shared flat with friends, Akam feels obligated to invite his uncle to stay for a few days. However, his uncle quickly makes himself at home and shows no sign of leaving anytime soon. Torn between a sense of familial duty and growing tension in the flat, Akam begins to suspect there's more to his uncle's visit than just a casual trip. So yeah, let's see what this person is. This person has done looks like a couple different films. The Shepherd, Silence, Pomegranate, Smile. So yeah, what do you think about this?
Okay, so I think I actually do have this in my inbox, so I'm pretty excited to see it. It just looks really interesting. Again,
Yeah.
the other thing that South by Southwest does really well is they'll put strange foreign movies that don't sound interesting or good at all, and they end up surprising you. You know what I mean?
I think it could be funny. You know,
Yeah.
the kind of an odd couple type situation between the two of them. So yeah, I give it a 3.
With this one, I think I'm gonna go 3.5. Normally Scandinavian films are pretty good.
Yeah,
They don't, they don't
that's
disappoint
true.
unless they're animated. I'm not going to go into it, but one of the worst animated films I've ever seen
Oh,
in the
really?
last decade was from Scandinavia, and I saw it last year at Fantastic Fest, actually.
Oh, really?
And I hope it never
um,
comes out.
yeah. Well, so next up we have The Accountant 2. This is directed by Gavin O'Connor. When an old acquaintance is murdered, Wolf is compelled to solve the case. Realizing more extreme measures are necessary, Wolf recruits his estranged and highly lethal brother Brax to help. In partnership with Mary Beth Medina, they uncover a deadly conspiracy, becoming targets of ruthless network of killers who will stop at nothing to keep their secrets buried. And this, of course, stars Ben Affleck, John Barenthal, J.K. Simmons. So it's got a great cast. I mean, I feel like a little bit with this one, like who does people even remember the first Accountant? Like, I feel like is anybody asking for this movie? It seems like a little bit of a weird movie to make.
The first one came out almost 10 years ago, so it's kind of
Yeah.
weird to do this now. Maybe 5 years ago it would have been better spot to put this, but I'm excited for it. I love Gavin O'Connor. I mean, he made Warrior, Pride and Glory, The Way Back, which is a really good Ben Affleck basketball movie. Uh, he was part
True.
of the Americans, the team behind the Americans. The
Uh-huh.
guy's a good director. The guy's a very talented director. He just, I think it's too much time.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
excited
how
to
I
see it
feel
though.
too. Did
And
you like the
getting,
first one?
I actually really like the first one. My thing about the first one was that I was really interested to see, and this is not a joke to be made amongst friends, but he basically is autistic John Wick.
Right, right.
And that was one of the things that kind of threw me off at the time. I was like, so wait, because I didn't know going into it what it was even like about. Like I didn't understand what I was seeing. I didn't know what I was getting into because I had just watched something else that was much more different than this. I think I gave it a B minus, and I said solid
Mm-hmm.
filmmaking and a fun environment, good acting coalesced into a fairly good action thriller. Affleck shows an ominous, brooding side, perfect for his other role in 2016, Thieves Here, and it's the review for, I believe, The Way Back. No,
Oh.
Batman versus Superman. Yeah,
Oh.
brooding, and that movie sucked. So
Yeah. I'm not really interested in this one, but yeah, I do like the director, so I would give it a 2. What about you?
this could be a 3.5 for me. Also, my ears to gut. You put John Barenthal in something, I'm gonna want to see it. I love
Yeah.
John Barenthal. So
Okay, so then we have Holland. This is director Mimi Cave, and it's Nancy is a teacher whose life with her husband in Holland, Michigan, tumbles into a twisted tale when she and her colleague become suspicious of a secret. And this stars Nicole Kidman, Gail Garcia Bernal, Matthew McFadden. So what do you think about this?
this is one of my most anticipated movies of the entire festival. I love
Yeah.
Mimi K's first movie, Fresh. I loved Fresh. I thought it was so interesting, and she took a lot of risks in that movie that a lot of people
Uh-huh.
wouldn't take.
Yeah.
Cast, pitch perfect. Nicole Kidman, great actress. Gael Garcia Bernal, one of the most underrated actors alive. Matthew McFadden, really on the come up here after being in Succession.
Mm-hmm.
Really talented cast with a director who's not afraid to take risks. You're going to get something interesting. And I think it's going
Yeah.
to be more of like a crumbling psyche as we watch Nicole Kidman and Gael travel into the crazy parts of their mind.
Yeah, I think it'll be good. I'm going to give it a 4.
This is getting a
Okay,
full 5 for me.
a 5. Okay, good. Okay, so then we have Drop. This is director Christopher Landon. Everyone's a suspect. Violet, a widowed mother on her first date in years, arrives at an upscale restaurant where she is relieved that her date, Henry, is more charming and handsome than she expected, but their chemistry begins to curdle as Violet begins being irritated and then terrorized by a series of anonymous drops to her phone. I don't think I'll see this one. This just it sounds too scary for me. I don't mind watching a scary movie, but one that feels like this could actually happen, like as a single woman, like the idea of being stalked, on social media and being like I think it's too scary. It'll be too scary for me. I don't know. What do you think?
I think there's something to what you're saying, and that perspective is completely valid because if you look at Christopher Landon's previous films, Freaky, Happy Death Day, and Happy Death Day to You, Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse, he made
Oh,
the fourth Paranormal Activity. He's a horror filmmaker.
I did really
Um,
like Happy Death Day.
it's fun, and so is Freaky. Freaky's really fun. It's a great horror twist on the Freaky Friday concept. But the thing that I keep going back to when I look at this, and this is the part that interests me, the cast is actually super like underrated good. Like I'm kind of surprised about it. Like I look at this and Megan Fahey's really
Yeah,
good.
Megan
Violet Bean's a
Faye.
great actress. Violet Bean's a great actress. I just saw her in a really underrated movie called Renner that came out like 2 weeks ago with
Oh.
Frankie Muniz. Our interview
Well,
with
and
him.
she was good in the Unbreakable Boy, Megan Fahey.
I'm
I
not
I
seeing
think
that.
I think she was good in it though. And she's been good in some Hallmark movies too.
Yeah.
So
Again, I'm not seeing it.
she's a good actress.
She is, and that's again, that's why I mention her because she is a good actress. And the only thing that scares me is it's written by Gillian Jacobs, not the famous actress, but the writer Gillian Jacobs, who wrote Truth or Dare and Fantasy Island, both of which are terrible
Ooh,
and badly written. So
ooh, good point. Oh, okay, so that's not
mm,
the actress Jillian Jacobs.
no, I wish it was. She's a great writer. Uh, no, it's the screenwriter Gillian Jacobs. This movie is not going to be good at all. I don't think.
Huh.
Two, maybe one
Yeah.
and a half.
Mm. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 1. It just sounds too scary to me. Okay, so then we have Another Simple Favor. This is director Paul Feig. It's Stephanie Smothers and Emily Nelson reunite on the beautiful island of Capri, Italy, for Emily's extravagant wedding to a rich Italian businessman. Along with the glamorous guests, expect murder and betrayal to RSVP for a wedding with more twists and turns than the road from the Marina Grande to the Capri Town Square. And this stars Anna Kendrick, Blake Lively, Henry Golding. This is another one where I feel like, was anybody asking for this? Like, I don't know, it just feels like, why did they greenlight this? I have no idea. I mean, just
I,
they just figured that, oh, Blake Lively is popular.
so I'll start with this. I never saw the first movie, so I
Oh,
have
you
no idea
didn't?
what this movie's about. Blake Lively is hot right now, even whatever she did. Anna Kendrick is always good. Also, she looks amazing in this. She looks gorgeous in this movie. Michelle Marone was in the number one movie on Netflix, which was not a Netflix movie. It's the AI horror flick Subservience. He was in that.
Oh,
Henry Golding is still hot to this day. Andrew Rannells is a low key good actor. You'd know him
yeah.
because he's a stage actor. He did the
Yeah,
original run
Broadway
of the
guy.
Book of Mormon. Yeah, he did the
Yeah.
Book of Mormon run, which I know is a very very controversial uh,
No, I
Broadway
mean,
musical.
I've seen him. I saw him in Gutenberg as well on Broadway, and yeah, he's very charming, and so it's going to be, I guess, interesting. I think it'll probably be entertaining. I remember thinking the first one was entertaining, but it's just one of those movies that I haven't thought about once since I saw it.
Yeah, I don't know what this movie is, so I'm gonna give it like a one because I don't really care about the first one either. So
Mm. I would give it a 2. I give it a 2.
We'd like to take a second to thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast, the delightful new novel by by Melody Carlson. Welcome to the Honey B&B. Award-winning author Melody Carlson presents a charming contemporary novel of family, humor, and new beginnings. Jewel McCary returns to the family farm to help her aging parents to turn the old farmhouse into a charming bed and breakfast. But juggling her dad's dementia, an old flame, and troublesome neighbors is not what she had in mind when she uprooted her life. Pick up Welcome to the Honey B&B for 30% off and free shipping at bakerbookhouse.com. That's 30% off and free shipping at bakerbookhouse.com.
So then we have Ash. This is a new mind bender by Flying Lotus. A woman wakes up on a distant planet and finds the crew of her space station viciously killed. Her investigation into what happened sets in motion a terrifying chain of events. And this stars Elsa Gonzalez, Aaron Paul, Q Uwais. So yeah, I mean that sounds like it could be fun. Directed by Flying Lotus. I haven't seen any of the other stuff that they've done, but this sounds like it could be fun.
He's a really diverse artist. He's a musician. He's a bunch of things. Flying Lotus.
Oh, okay.
Very talented. I don't like correcting people, but I love correcting people. It's Isa Gonzalez. Isa.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I appreciate it.
And then it's Iko Uwais. He's from a great action franchise that you probably haven't seen, The Raid.
Yeah. No, I've seen the first Raid. I haven't seen the second one.
Second one's even better.
Yeah. I've heard that. I don't know. It sounds like it could be a pretty good thriller. What do you think?
Oh, I'm in. This sounds really cool. It sounds like a mix of what was that Natalie Portman movie that was directed by the Ex Machina director?
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, Annihilation. I did not.
Annihilation.
Like that.
It sounds a little bit like Annihilation, which I liked Annihilation, but then you have this really good cast. Isa Gonzalez is the star. Aaron Paul's always good. Iko Uwais better be punching things. That's all I want to see. And this one's coming out on Shudder, so I already know what I'm getting myself into, and I'll probably see it like in a week.
So what do you give it?
2.5. I like the ideas here. I like the ideas.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, Uvalde Mom, and this is director Anayansi Prado. And it's when a school shooting shakes a Texas town, mom becomes a hero and speaks against a faulty system. Community confronts those who failed its kids. So I think this is a documentary.
It is, and it's about the Uvalde school shooting in Uvalde, Texas. Anayansi Prado is the type of person we need to tell the story because Uvalde is a predominantly Hispanic community, and Anayansi Prado, being a Hispanic woman herself, has to be the one to tell this. She's a very talented, very controversial filmmaker, unafraid to take chances and tell stories that need to be told. This is going to be a sad movie. It's going to be extraordinarily sad. This is going to be a huge downer, but God, is it going to be good?
Yeah, it seems like it's going to be intense, but it seems like it'd be worthwhile.
I love an intense documentary. Like I love some of my favorite docs are always like super intense, and usually there's something uplifting to be taken from it. So I'm going to give it 3.5.
Yeah, I think so. That sounds good. Next is Positions, and this is director Brandon Daly. Blue collar Kansan Mike Alvarado attempts to save his family from the throes of poverty by investing their savings into speculative cryptocurrencies. However, as his investment strategy decays into a full-blown gambling addiction, he sends his life into a nightmarish, anxiety-inducing downward spiral, compromising his relationships with his girlfriend, his mentally disabled brother, and his recovering junkie cousin. So this one does not sound good to me. That sounds very, very depressing.
I don't know what to make of it. There's a lot going on there.
Yeah, there is a lot. Definitely.
I don't know.
It's just, that's a lot going on with cryptocurrencies and gambling addictions and disabled brother. And so, I'd give it like a 2.
It's funny. I don't I look at this and all these things sort of just sound like an evening in Las Vegas. Um,
Yeah,
but like I don't know, man. But when you live there, not when you're visiting. I don't know.
right.
I don't know. This is one of those ones that's hard to gauge. So I'll probably go with like a 1.5 because I don't know what the hell this
Yeah,
movie is or who it's for. I don't
right.
know what's made for. I don't know.
Okay, next we have Life Hack. This is Ronan Corrigan. Life Hack offers a deeper look into the real lives of teenagers in today's world. We get to see the world that shapes them through their own eyes as a generation that was raised in a digital and interconnected world with access to anything. What do you think?
What's this one called?
Life Hack.
Oh, okay. Well, anything called life hack is going to be sort of whatever because it feels like it's made for millennials, whatever, or
Yeah.
Gen Z people, and I'm not that person. I really don't
Mhm.
understand or care. That said, I don't know anybody in this movie. I don't know what the heck's going on in this movie. There's nothing to grip me. It doesn't seem
Yeah.
very like interesting. It does have that 4-way like split screen gimmick going on, which is always cool.
Yeah.
But no,
But that could also be if the gimmick could get old quick with that, like it's been done well with like searching and some other movies,
yeah,
but it
yeah,
can also be not great. So I'd give it a 1.
yeah. I'll go with the one. I don't know what this movie is.
So we have this is the real title. It's Butthole Surfers, The Whole Truth and Nothing But. Follows the story of a groundbreaking Texas-based art punk band founded by frontman Gibby Haynes and guitarist Paul Leary. Have you ever heard of this band?
Yeah, dude, have you
Oh,
never heard the
okay.
song Pepper?
No. I'm
Pepper,
like
gosh,
I'm not
dude,
very up to date with music.
it's their most popular hit. But Butthole Surfers are such an interesting band. Um, if you listen to Pepper, the song I'm mentioning, like you'll be like, oh, dude, that's such a, I've heard it before. You don't realize you've heard it.
Mm.
Um, it's very different from anything else. Jimmy Haynes is a madman. The
Uh,
reason they're called the Butthole Surfers is because they're insane.
yeah. So are
This is a
you
cool movie.
excited?
Yeah, dude, I love music docs. The musical docs that are always going to get me to go see the documentaries are always going to get me to see the movies are music docs. So, man, uh,
Mhm.
directed by Tom Stearns, who hasn't done like a bunch of things, but I kind of always like when people make documentaries who just sort of don't care about making anything else but documentaries. He worked on The Toys That Made Us for Netflix, which is a really cool uh,
Mm.
show about like the history of certain toys that have formed the zeitgeist of America when it comes to that.
Mm.
Stuff like Barbie, GI Joe, things that have
Yeah.
subverted pop culture. Uh, yeah, but Hall Service is a good band to do this with because they for most of the '80s they were just underground, and then in the '90s Pepper hit, and then that whole album, which is called Electric Larryland. I think it went certified gold or double
Oh,
gold or
really? I
platinum.
never heard of them
Yeah,
before. But
yeah, man.
I'm not very up on music.
This is my thing. This is
Yeah.
why I'm here to offer insight because we have very different backgrounds, you and I.
Yeah. Yep. So what do you give it?
I'm gonna go with a 4. I love music
Okay.
docs. I'm in.
Yeah. Cool.
We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies Merch Store.
Are you looking for that perfect gift for the postable, hardy, or hallmarky in your life?
What about getting that t-shirt or hoodie that will help you stand out at your next holiday party?
Now is the time to check out the Hallmarkies Merch Store.
Full of festive designs by artists like Jessica Miller, Carrie from Hallmark Comics, and more.
You can even have more than just shirts, but totes, cell phone cases, notebooks, mugs, and more.
And it isn't just Hallmark. We have designs for Anna Green Gables, Man from Snowy River, The Nanny, and more.
Every purchase at the merch store goes to help support the podcast and allows us to make the great content you know and love.
There are frequent sales, so go to tpublic.com/stores/hallmarkies or see the link in the description.
That's tpublic.com/stores/hallmarkies.
Okay, then we have Strange Journey, the story of Rocky Horror, a wild journey into the origins of the Rocky Horror Picture Show, the biggest cult film of all time, its impact on popular culture and socio-political resonance to this day. I think it's that. This definitely like in my wheelhouse. I think that sounds really fun. So yeah, I'd give that pretty high.
I'm in. I'm
Yeah.
in. That's who doesn't love the Right Purpose show? Like I am 100% in on this movie. I want to see it. I love knowing about different movies, like backstage stuff, behind the scenes
Yeah,
stuff,
I do too.
and movie documentaries about movies is a good way to do that. And this one only being a tight 89 minutes makes this one a radar, definitely on my radar. Definitely a three and a
Uh,
half.
yeah. All right. So then we have Are We Good? This is director Stephen Feinartz. It's a Mark Marone documentary, an intimate portrait of comedian and podcast pioneer Mark Marone following the sudden loss of his partner and filmmaker Lynn Shelton. Marone struggles with grief, disillusionment, and a shifting comedy landscape. What do you think?
This one's going to be a gut punch because Lynn Shelton was a talented director in her own right and a beautiful person in her own right.
Uh-huh.
And the fact that she married or was partnered with Mark Maron, who is very much not a pleasant person, but also hilarious and seems like a man
Mm-hmm.
with a great heart and a good heart.
Mm.
Um, this is going to be a one that's going to bring the tears. It's going to bring the laughs. It's going to allow us to see a man at the later part of his life, because I believe he's 60 years old now, navigate feelings of loss that he maybe shouldn't have to have dealt with currently or yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see the evolution since he's a podcaster.
Yeah, he's also a stand-up comedian. I worked with him on one of his stand-up album when one of his stand-up albums came out. I was
Oh, you did?
part of the PR team for it, and
Oh, that's cool.
lovely guy, lovely guy. Lynn was an amazing filmmaker. If you guys are not familiar with Lynn Shelton's work, let me tell you right
Mm-hmm.
now, you should get familiar with it because Your Sister's Sister and Laggies are amazing. Hump Day is amazing. Uh, she was part of the crew behind Little Fires Everywhere. She was part of the crew that brought Morning Show and Dickinson to Apple TV. She worked on Glow. She was a fantastic director of people.
Mm.
And I remember talking to her about Sort of Trust in 2019 and thinking, this lady knows what she's talking about. And then
Yeah.
sadly, we lost it the next year in 2020.
Oh, yeah. Well, I definitely I'll give it a 4.
100%. It's on my radar. Uh, it's going to be a 4. It's a 4.
Yeah. So then we have one more shot, and this is by Nicholas Clifford. On New Year's Eve, 1999, Minnie discovers a bottle of time traveling tequila that takes her back to the start of the night in this time loop comedy. Armed with this mysterious bottle of tequila, she hopes to win the heart of on again, off again old flame Joe. But no matter what she does, she can't escape herself. So that sounds really fun, I think.
This looks right. Like it's right in our wheelhouse, Rachel.
Yeah, rom-com.
This looks
Yeah.
right in our wheelhouse, Rachel. Emily Browning is always charming. She's always charming. I love her. This is going to be really fun. And this reminds me of last year, how that Anne Hathaway movie came out at South by, and it was really
Mhm.
good.
Yeah.
And then it came out, and I was like, okay, that was way better than I thought it would be. This looks like it has the potential to be that.
Yeah, that's true. I'm just looking at some of the stuff she's done. Um, yeah, that's true. That was a good example of like a more crowd-pleasing film at South by Southwest last year that Anne Hathaway won.
Yeah,
Um,
and I think this is going to be it too.
yeah, that makes sense. I'd give it a 5.
I'm
Okay.
going with a 4.5. 4.5.
Okay, good. All right. So then we have For Worse. This is by Amy Landecker. Love never gets old. Lauren, a newly divorced, sober mom, feels like she has a new lease on life after joining her first acting class and starting a fling with her hot young scene partner. However, when they attend their Gen Z classmates' wedding together, things begin to fall apart, and Lauren finds herself behaving like a drunk 25-year-old bridesmaid. Luckily, after a disastrous night, she stumbles onto a new day and a new beginning. This actually stars Amy Landecker and Liv Hewson, Bradley Whitford, Gabby Hoffman. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like it could be fun. What do you think?
Yeah, Bradley Whitford's her actual husband, so that's
Oh,
that's
is
what's
it?
interesting about
Okay.
that. And I love Bradley Whitford, and I have since he was on one of my favorite shows, The West Wing.
Yeah.
Uh, love The West Wing. Love Bradley Whitford. She's a great actress. She usually makes really good choices and is in really interesting things. So watching her cut loose a little bit is going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, yeah. All right, I'm going to skip some of these. Let's talk about Odessa. This is director Jeremy Gasper. Ain't nothing more powerful than love. A farm girl is on an epic quest to recover a cherished family heirloom. Her journey leads her to a strange and dangerous city where she meets her one true love. But in order to save his soul, she must put the power of destiny and song to the ultimate test. So it sounds like it might be kind of a musical. The power of song.
It says it's a musical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that could be fun. See what this Jeremy
Yeah.
Gasper has done.
So he's he's a music video director.
He did Patty Cakes, which was a pretty good movie.
Yep. He's also directed stuff for Florence and the Machine,
Oh,
LaRue.
okay.
He's a music video director. So I love music video directors. My favorite director of all time is a music video director. So I love music video directors make things that have to do with music that are actual whole movies.
Mm-hmm.
This is my wheelhouse. Sadie Sink is a star. Regina Hall's in this movie. Murray Bartlett, if you're a fan of White Lotus, you love Murray Bartlett. This is
great cast.
Awesome.
Yeah, what do you think? 5?
This is probably top of my list of something I want to see.
Mm-hmm.
5.
Yeah.
500%. I'm getting Alice in Wonderland vibes.
Yeah, I can see that. It's definitely going to have a fantastical element to it.
I'm here for this. Regina Hall's haircut is gross, though.
Okay, so then we have, this is the last one we'll do. New Jack Fury. This is director Lanfia Wall. After his girlfriend is kidnapped by a ruthless kingpin, a former cop must seek the help of 2 unlawful R&B eccentrics to help save her. This stars Andre Hall, Paige Kennedy. What do you think?
I'm down. Here's the thing. I like the change of flavor here that this is bringing, because this sounds like it's going to be we just talked about blaxploitation on the podcast this month. And New Jack City is a blaxploitation film from the 90s. This looks like it's going to be a satire of the 90s blaxploitation scene mixed in with a comedy. And so this is exactly what I want to see right now in this moment.
Yeah, I think it's a parody of that New Jack City. I think they were saying that in some wrestler ads. So yeah, I'll give it a 2.5. I haven't seen that, so
this is going to probably be a 4 for me, just because this seems like the kind of thing that I want to see.
Yeah. So there we go. We did it. We previewed. What would you say what would you say you're most excited for to see out of these?
Probably Odessa. But obviously I have some other ones that are on my radar that we haven't talked about yet.
Do you want to mention those real quick?
Yeah, A24's Death of a Unicorn is definitely on that list. Pardon not my French.
Yeah, that's like a fantasy. It's a fantasy movie, right?
Yep. Pardon my French, but there's a movie debuting called Fuck Toys, which I definitely want to check out. There's a couple of them on here that I'm looking at them and I'm just like, this looks cool. Slanted looks amazing. McKenna Grace is in that. There's a lot of stuff on this year's list that I'm sort of like really excited to see, just because it's so, how do I put this? Everything is so different. Like there's The Astronaut, which has Kate Mara in it. Caper, obviously, another one I'm looking forward to. The Dutchman, which has another Kate Mara performance, and Andre Holland is in that movie. I love Andre Holland. If you guys don't know who Andre Holland is, he was in Moonlight.
Oh, yeah,
Moonlight.
He's great. Yeah, he's great.
Forge. I'm talking to Kelly Marie Tran, I believe, next week about a different movie, but this has Kelly Marie Tran in it, which that's always a good one. I really love My Husband, which I think is in my inbox right now, is one that I'm looking forward to watching. And there's that's pretty much what I've got as far as the stuff that I'm super excited about and it's got on my radar.
Well, let us know what you think about these and which ones you're interested in. We'd love to hear in the comment section or on Twitter. And where can people follow everything you have going on at Film Snob Reviews?
Film Snob Reviews on Instagram, Twitter, Blue Sky, whatever. Pick one. It's Film Snob Reviews.
Yeah.
We have a YouTube channel that has 800 followers. We're 200 short of the 1,000 to monetize our channel. So if you guys want to help us out there, go right ahead. You can find the Snobcast anywhere podcasts are. Our new episode should be live today or tomorrow. It's about blaxploitation films. Rachel's been on it a few times. She loves going on there and talking to my absolutely insane crew, who are the best. Like, you guys think I'm crazy? You guys haven't met Shay yet. Oh my god, she's a ball of crazy. I love her.
Yeah. Well, you can find me at Rachel's Reviews, all of our social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes. So check that out. Also, make sure you're following Hallmarkies podcast. Lots of fun stuff going on over there. And if you are listening on iTunes, please leave your ratings and reviews. That helps us so much. And if you are watching on YouTube, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. We appreciate that so much. We also have the Patreon group and merch store. Check that out. And thanks so much. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye.
Bye.